All right, welcome back to Sports Smarts. Today we're going to be covering another Olympic story. I found an article that I think will be really fun for us to look through. It was released on the first day of the 2024 Summer Olympics, as you can see here by the reason. It's going to discuss 5 ways that we can fix some of the issues with the Olympics by looking at the current 2024 Olympics and past Olympic events as well. Now, I read through the article. The first 4 points are good. The 5th point I think is true in some regards, but there are some COVID-19 conspiracy theories that we're going to skip because honestly, I don't want. This article is pretty much exactly correct, except for the COVID-19 conspiracy bullshit that they say about scientists being wrong and how conspiracy theories are right. Not going to get into all of that because we're not doing politics. So we're going to skip that COVID-19 section at the end, but we're still going to look through all 5 reforms. So obviously, the Olympics have awful dark pasts, including forced displacement of residents to make way for stadium construction, and financial drain of host cities. As we talked last video, we talked about how Japan spent basically the entirety budget of the COVID-19 pandemic. The COVID-19 pandemic cost Japan and Tokyo as a city about $23 billion, and in 2013. Tokyo spent that almost the exact same number, I think it was like 22.8 billion for the Olympics. So financial drain on the city doesn't really give them a lot of positives. Anyway, we're talking about reforms that could fix the Olympics. Now, obviously, the best way to fix the Olympics is to not focus on just like fixing it right now. We just need to like straight like change up the games. Like they need to get rid of the ICU because obviously it's terrible. It's like the IBA but worse. Well, the IBA was Russian backed, so it's not worse, but it's still really terrible. So we just need to completely and honestly just change the Olympics fundamentally. So let's look at these reforms. So number 1, no public subsidies. So I don't agree with this. I think this is true, but not by private organizations. I do not want to see these screen graphics say the Olympics brought to you by Coca-Cola, Chrome, Amazon, Microsoft, and Bungie. I do not want to see that anytime. I just want to see the Olympics, and I don't think there should be subsidies given to companies to hold the Olympics. The successful 1984 games in LA, they were privately funded, and I guess that technically was good, but honestly, I just think that countries shouldn't really be forced to spend taxpayer money on hosting the Olympics. I think the ICU or whatever government body holds the Olympics should prepare the Olympics. Obviously, the country has to spend money to create all the stadiums and stuff, but I think they should be like given like a tax break or a grant on that. I think like the Olympic body in general, like the ICU or whatever body we give to replace the ICU, should pay the country to host the city, to be the host city, because the Olympics makes like billions and even sometimes upwards into trillions of dollars in TV revenue and just hosting in general. So I mean, if you can't like use some of that money to like pay the host city back for all the trouble they went through, I think that'd be a good subsidy. So right now, we're not going to do private businesses running the Olympics, but if there was a grant given, like part of the TV money was given back to the host city to pay for all the stuff that they put in, I think that'd be pretty cool. Number 2 is the big one, no forcible displacement of residences. If you can't build the stadiums in the city, just build it on an island somewhere, or build it in a rural area of the country. I know Japan had no choice, but they also had some islands they could have chosen. They could have just built it in the water. There's no reason why they can't just build like a port or something, or like a boardwalk stadium or something. They could have done something else. The big culprit here is Rio de Janeiro, 2016 Olympics, where they bulldozed like half the city's poor district to build all the stadiums and luxury apartments for the athletes. And then once the athletes left, the apartments are now vacant, no one lives there, and basically they have a bunch of useless land in the city that no one is using. The stadiums aren't in use, and now they have a bunch of homeless people that they have to deal with. And a lot of residents kind of died because it was really hot that summer, and they just couldn't find anywhere to sleep. So a lot of people died for no reason. So we should hold the sports events without kicking innocent people out of their homes is a good point. Just build it somewhere else. You don't have to build it in the city. You can build it in like a suburb of the city. There's definitely flat land somewhere. And if you can't build it there, don't be a host city then. Or be a host city for the opening ceremony, and then we go to like some other country that's close enough that has a place that you can build the stadiums. No forcible displacement. And if you do, then punish them. Number 3, no hosting rights for authoritarian governments. This is plain and simple. Don't think we should have Olympic events in authoritarian countries, and to that extent extends to democratic countries that are committing human rights violations. So, authoritarian countries, Mozambique, Russia, China, North Korea especially, Saudi Arabia, basically anywhere in the Middle East is a no-go, and that includes Israel. I'm not going to get into politics, but I think that Israel is a theocracy, similar to how Iran is a Shia Islam theocracy. I think Israel is kind of a theocracy because they kind of just hate everyone except for their majority. Not going to mention it because it's political, but I don't think theocracies like Israel and Iran should host the Olympics. Saudi Arabia is a authoritarian dictatorship. Most of the Middle Eastern countries are authoritarian countries, so I would say nothing in the Middle East. Sorry, but if you're not going to be democratic, then why should we hold Olympics? Why should we give you the honor of holding the Olympics if you can't even treat your citizens like normal humans? So Russia, China, Mozambique, pretty much everywhere in the Middle East, North Korea. I would even bring Azerbaijan as also dictatorship, so nothing there. I know F1 holds a race in both Saudi Arabia and Azerbaijan, and also they used to hold one in China, so I don't think the F1 should be holding races in authoritarian countries, but that's a topic for another day. We're talking about the Olympics, and this is something they should stop. All right, number 4, there should be full freedom of speech in the Olympic Village. Yes. So if an athlete goes up to the podium and holds up like the peace sign, then that should be fine. If they hold up like a symbol in their country that's like politically biased, who freaking cares? They just won gold in the Olympics. This is their one like thing that in their life that everyone's looking at them, and they have a message. Share it. If you just won out of like 100 swimmers in an event, and you're up on the gold podium and you have something that you want to say it. You literally just beat like 100 people in an event that was grueling on your body, and you're probably going to be going home and with a lot of injuries or recovery period. If you work really hard, or you're in this position where you're the representative of your country and you have something critical to say about your country, say it. And I don't care if a Chinese athlete comes up and says, my friend was killed because he was a Uyghur, and they're holding death camps in China because of Uyghurs, and my friend is now dead. If China threatens to kill them, they should be able to be protected from that. Now, I don't know how you would do that. I would just say like maybe they stay in the host country until things die down. But I mean, if they say something critical, they should be allowed to say it. And if they hold up a controversial symbol, I mean, just say it. Now, if they go up there and they're brandishing the swastika, and then they say we should kill all minority groups, all non-white people, then frick them. They get to be arrested, because there's a difference between freedom of speech and freedom to spew hate speech. If you're going up there waving a Confederate flag and saying that we should kill all non-white people in America, then they should arrest. Then once you get off that podium, and once you get back to America, you will be arrested for a hate crime. If not, just arrest you right then and there. Because unfortunately, there's a difference between saying, I believe in world peace, and that corporations shouldn't be leading to world hunger worldwide, and you going up there and saying that Hitler was right and that we should have the Holocaust again. So, yeah. I think political speech is fine as long as it's non-hateful. If you're saying if back in the day in like the 8th, during the days of apartheid South Africa, if a South African athlete went up there and said, my villages are being burned and we are living in an apartheid regime, we need help right now, I would let them do it, because Obviously, they were in the right. They would be in the right. Historically, we know what happened in apartheid South Africa, and they deserve to have their voice heard. So that's the thing. Also, a note down here: freedom of speech has often been violated when authoritarian states host the games. We already talked about it. Don't let authoritarian states host the games. Period. And then 5, no public health measures blocking normal human interaction. This is the COVID-19 stuff. We're going to skip all this crap. Basically, what I want to say for number 5 here is that if there's a really weird public measure, like let's say in Saudi Arabia, in Qatar, when they did the World Cup, they're a Muslim country, so they banned alcohol. I'm going to say no, because just because you're an authoritarian dictatorship that bans alcohol and bans women showing faces, frick you maybe, just frick you. I mean, you're an authoritarian country, so we're not going to be coming to you anytime soon, because we've already said we should ban authoritarian states from hosting the games. But if there's a state that says women can't show their face, and people can't drink alcohol or drink can't eat meat. Like if we go to India and they say, because of our religion, because we're a theocracy, people can't eat meat, I'm going to say frick you. No, you're not going to be able to host the games if you have authoritarian rules and crackdowns, okay? And that's all I got to say on that. So just a quick review, and going to not talk about any of this COVID-19 bullshit down here. Host cities should be paid by the new organization that replaces the ICDU. They shouldn't have to spend billions of dollars on the games. They should be, of the taxpayers' money, they should be granted some money to pay for all of that. Some of the billions of dollars that are going to TV deals, maybe. No forcible displacement of residences, even if it does make so you have to look for a non-civilian inhabited area. I think they should be punished if they do so. No authoritarian countries may host the Olympics. I would extend that to theocracies like Iran and Israel as well. Full freedom of speech, unless it's hate speech. No freedom of speech will be violated unless it's hate speech. And 5, no public health measures or authoritarian measures may be enforced at the games. If they are authoritarian, like people can't eat meat in India, people can't drink alcohol in Arabian countries, and some countries, and also extending to those countries, women can't show their faces in public. It's bullshit, and we're not going to agree to that. Alright, so that's going to be the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like if you like, dislike if you don't, subscribe if you like it, and I'll see you guys next time. Toodaloo, have a blessed day.